Minasan konnichiwa, Chris Larsen des. First of all, I just wanted to welcome you all here today. It's really with your sense of spirit and community and long-term commitment to this vision of an internet of value that has really made the XRP community in Japan so phenomenal. I have to say, I can't think of anywhere in the world that has been more committed and more important in contributing to the vision of an internet of value.
Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that was Chris Larsen. In the intro, he is the co-founder and chairman of Ripple Labs, and it was a pre-recorded video message to the XRP community in Japan 5 years ago. And on this September 6th, the XRP community in Japan will gather again. And if you can come, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, full of speakers, panels, food, live music, games. I have no idea what the games are, but hey, I'm game. There's also some dedicated time for builders who wish to explore building on the ledger, a purpose-built platform for payments for sure. And if you see here, Eric Van Miltenberg at the top, the SVP for Strategic Initiatives at Ripple, is a part of the executive team that is going to be joining the event. I think it's kind of rare for him to be out among the community. Yeah, I can't think of a lot of times that I have seen him pop in the kind of with the retail crowd, but he was also today in Tokyo. I met him at WebEx, and also along with Marcus Infanger, the senior VP of Ripple X. That's the arm that drives the innovation with a focus on builders. And here's another shot that I think is kind of fun because it has Emi Yoshikawa in it. She's on my left. And then on her left is Kondo-san. He is, of course, the lead of SBI VC Trade. WebEx was really busy. I'm going to return tomorrow and spend more time at the booths that I scoped out today. SBI VC Trade, Bitflyer, and there are some other chains that are brand new that look very innovative. One of the speakers today that I didn't want to miss was Yatsui. He is the co-founder of Animoca Brands. And yeah, do try to hear some of his panel discussions on YouTube. He really understands where Web3 can bring us. And it's a wonderful place because we're going to decentralize and push that value out of the center to the fringes, which will include every participant into this economy of blockchain. I think the DAOs are the future, is what he said at the end of his stage time. Gives me great optimism for this space. And before we listen to the end of Chris Larsen's recorded message, I just have a little bit of cleanup mess from the last video. First, I had shared some of the dust that I left on BitTrue when they asked me to remove my assets. They gave me 48 hours to do so. And somebody, along with a few others, this is a typical comment, and I just don't know what has happened to this community. This person left the comment, wait, no, BitTrue is okay for US citizens. I just checked. Please stop the FUD. You know, it's getting to the point where it's out of hand. If you have any comment that isn't just hyping, speculative, Moon Boy, we're going to $10,000 tomorrow narrative, people think you're fudding. So I brought my receipts to X to show everyone the email. And you can see here that unfortunately, due to regulatory uncertainty in your region, we regret to inform you that we are currently unable to offer services in the United States. So no, it's not FUD. It is really my way of saying that if you are an American citizen and you have assets on BitTrue, you want to be aware that you're going to be asked to move them. A lot of people said that they had it happen to them months ago. So I think they're taking it on a step-by-step basis. Somebody also asked, why would I leave my assets on an exchange, a centralized exchange? And that's a great question. And I don't do it with everything, but I do it for two reasons. One, I was participating in the Power Piggy on BitTrue. I loved the yield. And remember, I'm a swing trader, so you can't trade unless you've got your assets on an exchange that you are ready to execute those either entry points or exit points, depending on where you are in the cycle. So yeah, this is unfortunate, and it does create a tax event for me. Now, someone said, now it shouldn't. You're just moving, one to another. But what I had to do in many of those assets is I had to convert them into XRP, which is what most of the pairs are on that website, because where I was moving them, they don't take a lot of those assets. I mean, I had a lot of BTR, which is a native rewards token on BitTrue. I had, what was it? I'm not going to go through the list, but I had a fair amount of tokens that aren't on the exchanges that I use. So therefore, I had to convert them to XRP and then move them from XRP to another location. And yeah, when you do take that asset that you have and put it into another asset, that creates a tax event. And my second cleanup mess from the last video is about the JPMorgan payments. So many people thought this was FUD also. It's not. It's really doing a coverage of the space that matters. This is very much a part of the history of ETHgate, if you have been following that all the way from the beginning. And this is for sure taking a big chunk of the payments pie, which is huge, and there's enough to go around, but to ignore someone like JPMorgan, who is now going to be the bank for a Ripple partner. They are doing it for Neum. Neum has now 76, we know of, at least, payment solutions within their suite of offerings. But when someone says no one's going to use JPMorgan because it's a closed walled garden, well, RippleNet is also a closed walled garden. It's a permissioned network. It doesn't always use the XRP ledger. It's not actually based on the open source decentralized ledger. Now, when it uses XRP as a bridge currency, it does, but not all of the transactions are with using the digital asset XRP. And so JPMorgan Coin as a blockchain, it has quorum components. What makes it powerful is it's got the Ethereum smart contracts. And JPMorgan currently controls all their nodes. They do say that they're going to have banks run them in the future. But listen, with the JPMorgan coin, they are doing $2 billion a day. They're processing $2 billion a day with their coin. And JPMorgan, with the MIT Digital Currency Initiative, they did a POC, a proof of concept, with the Financial Payments Ant group. And they have customers in the tune of 1.2 billion. Ant announced on July 1st that they made billions of JP Morgan coin programmable payments. This is news, guys. This is something you want to pay attention to. This isn't FUD. This is doing due diligence on the space in a responsible way to see what's going on in the payment sector. And when you see that they're also going to, in the near future, be interoperable with other smart contract platforms, this is also very pertinent. So they're going to break out of that walled garden, which will, of course, increase their reach. And if you want to see all the receipts for this information that I just explained, you can go to my X feed and you'll find the links there, 1, 2, 3, and it's on the post for August 27th. So I don't know where everybody's at in terms of when you talk about anything that isn't Moon Boy, $10,000 tomorrow narrative, and they call it FUD. I think not. As a matter of fact, if you're not paying attention to the space as a whole, you're not doing your job as a retail investor. You're basically just gambling. And the circus is back in town. Yes, you're not going to believe what just broke in the last hour. The SEC has given a Wells notice to OpenSea. This is the #1 NFT platform, globally speaking. And they are going to, as OpenSea said in their blog today that was published, that they're going to help ensure creators can continue innovating without fear. They're pledging $5 million to cover legal fees for NFT artists and developers that receive a Wells notice. Brian Quintense, who is the ex-CFTC commissioner and now head of global policy for the A16Z crypto group, he said that, wow, he really hit the nail on the head here, that the news of OpenSea receiving a Wells notice shows plain and simple that the current SEC crusade against the crypto industry continues unabated. This is in contrast to what Vice President Harris said 2 weeks ago, announcing her economic agenda. She is one that said, I will focus on cutting needless bureaucracy and unnecessary regulatory red tape and encouraging, applause as it happened, and encouraging innovative technologies while protecting consumers and creating a stable business environment with consistent and transparent rules of the road. He finishes up his thread with Vice President Harris needs to not only rebuke the SEC's approach, but lay out a detailed plan for how her potential administration would support this innovation while providing customer protection. It would now be more critical than ever that she clarify her intent on this transformational technology and her approach to the industry should, I think he wanted to say, should she win in November. All right, everybody, let's hear the rest of that clip from Chris Larsen. And until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
So I remember when I was CEO of Ripple, and this was our first visit to SBI about forming a partnership. And we landed that morning in Tokyo, coming from San Francisco. And the night before, there'd been a fresh coat of snow. The whole city was just covered in this beautiful coating of snow. And I think that it kind of represented everything that was going to happen from then on. That very next meeting we had that morning with Yoshi and SBI, we struck an agreement right then and there that same day. We just both knew that this is the future. So I just really want to thank the organizers of this community. I want to thank you for your insights, for your dedication, for your long view and commitment to the idea of an Internet of Value and how that can make our world a much, much better place. Ishoni Kachino Internet wo. Jishugen Shimisho. Arigato gozaimasu.